Well, hi there, everyone. It's a Friday sports algorithm podcast. It's March 24th. We're going to talk about college basketball. There was an upset yesterday being Thursday, with Tennessee losing to Florida Atlantic. Look at them go. Talk about college basketball. We will talk about NBA. It was a short day today, but we're going to talk about Friday also. So we have a lot of games tomorrow on Friday. And we'll get into what's going on with MLB, where a ton of work has been done and have a lot to discuss with NBA. So first, let's go to college basketball. 3 for 4 here. Connecticut, the underdog Kansas State pulls one out in overtime against Michigan State. That was a really good game. I don't know what happened in this Tennessee game. I thought they were up a lot early. I guess they blew it. And then Gonzaga, down a lot at halftime, comes back to win this game, also at an underdog line. So college basketball algorithm does okay. Brackets are still a mess, I'm sure, but that wasn't bad on Thursday. Let's go to Friday. Another 4 games. It has Creighton, Houston, Alabama, and Texas. Look at that, right in order, similar to the odds makers. Watch out for Alabama's injuries, though. That could be a very good game against San Diego State there. But not too many good picks here. Texas probably beat Xavier, but the margin's a little bit closer. These margins are actually really broad margins for this deep in the tournament. So you can expect probably 3 of these 4 teams to win, if not all 4. We'll see what happens with an injured Alabama on Friday. That's college basketball. Let's go to NBA. Split day, 2-2. Knicks do not beat the Magic. Pelicans win. Cavs win. And Thunder, they didn't show up really at all against the Clippers here. So that didn't work out very well. Let's try Friday. A lot of games. Injury report is only updated as of Thursday night here. So there will be injuries changing here on Friday. Anything good? Look at these ridiculous lines of -820 for Memphis and Toronto. It's probably because of injuries on the Pistons. Washington's injured, but so is San Antonio. So that line gets suspect there. San Antonio can't upset a game, so that's not really that good. Another awful line here. Then you have an underdog. Wow, the Sixers are an underdog against the Warriors. Interesting. And the Warriors still fighting off all those injuries and Curry out and other people. So that's a good line at +170. Got a really injured Jazz, but this line's also, but these are some terrible. Look at these lines. Unbelievable. Dallas -900 against Charlotte injured. Wow. That game's supposed to be closer than the odds makers think. And then the Bulls, there's a reasonable line against Portland. Phoenix has been injured and is injured against Sacramento. That's why they're probably an underdog. And then the Thunder again against the Lakers, an underdog line. So that's a really tough day for NBA. Not a lot of great things on here unless you've got some faith in the Sixers beating Golden State. Could happen, and that's pretty good underdog line there. So that's NBA for Friday. Now let's get into baseball. So baseball is where I've been spending most of my time, and I will be continuing to spend time. We got to believe a week until the start of the season. You might have caught a video I did about adding a macro to this file. I want to show you how this works now. So we have a bunch of different distributions, and I worked on all these distributions today to get something a little bit more reasonable, to put these statistics in a range that's good. I mean, we like to have we're generally kind of heavy on lineup factor, pitching percentages. That's where we're going to put a lot of our weights of our variables. So I did that, and this is what you can do. So we're going to test all of these combinations on the results from today. So combination number 1 went 10-5 with a lot of wins up top. Now this is all spring training mess, so you shouldn't really take too much, you don't take too much from this because it's still spring training. But let's take a look as we run the macro here. You go to view, go to macro, view macro, and we're gonna run the test 25 macro. We're not running the NBA macro, which the NBA file also has a macro, but we're running the baseball macro here. And it's going to go through these 25 combinations, and it's going to dump all the results in a sheet called the testing cube sheet. And it doesn't take very long because it's only 25 of these. Get this done here in probably under 30 seconds. There we go. Almost 2, 3, 4, and we're done now. All right, so it has pasted all of the simulated results for all these different combinations here in the testing cube. Now you go over to the browse testing cube. Browse testing cube is a pivot table. And we refresh, and we're going to get a look at kind of overall with all the different percentages that we use. We can kind of dive in and see which teams, for example, it favored the most, or a lot of the combinations favored them. So we have all of our different combination strings here in this slicer. You can just browse them and see what the record was and see what the projected runs were and what the final runs were and see what kind of profitability you would have had. Looks like it's still losing because 10-5 is rough. A lot of these minus 110 lines are not real lines too. I didn't get actual lines for the game, but you can click on the combo number and start to see. This is another one that's 10-5. Here's an 11-4, combination string number 3. Another 11-4, another 11-4, another 11-4. Interesting. And a lot of wins at the top. This is actually pretty good. Bunch of 11-4s. And this is what the distribution is. As soon as we click this, you'll see this will change slightly. This is going to show you what the new distribution was. A lot of 11-4s. Yeah, I mean, only one loss out of the top 10 games. 9-1 up top. That's good. Wow. Okay. It was a pretty predictable day. Lots of 11-4s. Wow. Pretty good stuff. It goes back down to 10-5 again. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. So, yeah, when you're getting strings of wins like that, it's pretty good. Now, who's on top every time? You know, it's not always Houston like we were just seeing there. It's not always Cleveland, although Cleveland is showing on top a lot. So here's how we check that out. Is we're going to open up, I mean, we can shift this thing around. We're going to open up all of the combination strings for a second. And then we're going to look at each team and see how many times it favored the team. So it favored Arizona 19 times. I think they had 2 games today, right? Yeah, I think Arizona had 2 games. San Diego, yeah, these split team days are a mess. It's really tough to figure out who's playing on both those teams. It's difficult to figure that out. But favored Arizona, they win. Didn't favor Atlanta at all. Had Baltimore, they won. Had Boston, had Chicago. Didn't pick Boston. Had Chicago, they won. Didn't pick Cincinnati. Did pick Cleveland every time, and they won. You can also see here, it's showing you how many runs it would have projected in each one of these scenarios. So this is the combo number. Combo number 1 had them putting up almost 7 runs, and they put up 10. White Sox picked them 25 times, but they lost. Interesting. This is really cool. It's really cool. Didn't pick Detroit at all. Picked Houston. You know, look at the different numbers of runs projected and then the actual runs scored. This is really awesome. This is really heavily on pitcher win percentage, heavy on ERA, heavy on lineup factor. That's what, yeah. So this is using, that's a good question, is which is this using? Okay, so this is looking at combo number 1 only. When it's giving you this right here. So it's looking at this cell right here. So this is only at combo number 1. But yeah, I mean, pretty cool stuff. So this is doing some good things. And I'll go over the videos about how you update this every day, because we're just going to do one day at a time, as I was mentioning. We're not going to be doing a full season in the file now. We're just going to do one day at a time, where when you bring in the odds for the day, it's already connected to the matchup sheet, which is going to be all your games for the day. And then it's going to, your data cube is going to be just one day's information. So it's going to be pretty fast to at least update this without adding all the other stats and going through lineups and stuff. But I have been working with all the lineups. I got everybody in here that I could, and I can't really complain with what it's been doing so far. It's certainly going to be interesting to watch as the season starts. So if you're interested in getting a copy of this file for $100 and watching the tutorial videos, you can get a subscription to RotoWire and update this thing yourself every day and follow along and come up with your own combination distributions that you can test that you like. And we'll just keep following along with this. So that's the update. That's Thursday's results. I can't really do Friday yet because none of the team, they haven't even announced starting pitchers and stuff. You can't really do it the night before, but I will get something up tomorrow. And we'll go from there. All right. Good luck, everybody. Hope your picks won today, and I hope they continue to be winning.